It brings me great pleasure to introduce Evan Morris to all of you. Evan is a writer and editor living in San Francisco. Born and raised in Santa Cruz, Evan likes to write about the thin line between emotions and exactly which parallel universe we're in. He's been featured in I Was, I Am, I Will Be, and likes to dismantle old books. Please join me in welcoming Evan.
Thank you, Bill Rowe, for letting me feature your guys' event. I've always wanted to do that. This piece is called Bear. I want to be a man that can be summed up in one sentence. He was a good man, the pastor said. He was a good man, and he lived a good life. Those who knew him say he was funny and always in good company. Funny and always in good company. This piece is called Get Lost. A derive is the execution of an unplanned journey, an affirmation of allotted time consigned to nothing. Nothing is what we want. Aimlessness is what we're after. I was in love once, with not just a person or camaraderie or family or art, but everything. I saw the beauty that was inside everything on this earth, big or small. Some people did bad things, but some people do good things. And when I saw you, I was in love. You had nowhere to go, and I was alone. You walked off, and I wanted to see where that thread would unfurl, where broken juxtaposition rears its composure. A derive is the execution of an unplanned journey. Equivocally, we are balanced in pursuit of the void. Averse to structure in this one spaced-out moment, derives are how its creators would like to live. Always wandering, but they can't. We are always wandering. This piece is called Overflow. I have been too much to write this poem. My eyes are blinded by years of experience, my ears deafened by constant cheering, my tongue burnt by endless concession. I can now only taste success, and I can do no evil. I have defeated too many to tell you of them, traveled too far to remember their names. I have lived too long to tell you my age, or my family, or where I'm from. But when I look at you and say, I cannot write this poem, I mean it. This piece is called Circle Market Blues. DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, is an interesting substance. It's naturally produced by our brains, but only when we're first born, when we sleep, and when we die. Now, this stuff's extremely potent, so you can overdose on just 1/10 of a gram. So when I got this bag, I was blown away, right? Because 6 grams is a shitload of deems. So I'm walking down the street, and this kid comes up to me, and he looks all scared, and he's saying he's seen me around and wants to know if I need some work. And I tell him, kid, fuck off, you are so young, what are you doing here? And then bam, shows me this huge tin full of it. So I pull out 15 bucks, which is all the cash I had on me, and he took it. So I'm wondering if I can make $3,000 or $4,000 off this stuff, because these aren't just some crystals made in a van out in Wairika, these are grade A Japanese space rocks. I'm going down the street, and I figure I'll stop by Andrew's, so my partner can meet me there when they get off work. So I go there, and Andrew and I have about an hour to kill until my partner's off at 10. I start to tell him the story, right? And he doesn't believe me, so I show it to him. Now most people have never heard of this stuff, much less done it, much less done good shit. I tell him he has to try it. We load it in a giant bong and go to town. And about 45 minutes later, my partner comes in to find us sitting in the same spot as when I got there, and we can't stop laughing. Andrew manages to joke out that we smoked almost a gram, and they should join in. So 2 more grams go by, and I mean, I'm fucked up. They are too, but seriously, I was hands down the most belligerent. So we all squirm around and have crazy visions or whatever, and after a while, I decide to go home. My partner tells me they can give me a ride, but I want to walk. The car seems too small. So I'm stumbling down the street, Not even back and forth across the sidewalk, but from one sidewalk to the other sidewalk when I'm trying to walk in a straight line. I'm like running into parked cars. And I'm walking down California, and right as I'm passing the church, I hear something by the Circle Market, but it's 4 in the morning, you know? So I get closer, and I'm sure I hear something because it's getting louder. It's a man, and he's screaming for help. Someone, anyone, help me. He's killing me. Help. This man really needed help. And don't get me wrong, I wanted to help the guy, but what was I really going to do? Hell, I was so fucked up that those screams could have been from a TV show and I couldn't tell the difference. Shows don't make that wet, sticking sound though. So he just keeps screaming, not more than 30 feet and a few walls from me, and I'm right up against a wall smoking a cigarette and thinking about what to do. Well, DMT isn't just about everything, right? All people, plants, and animals, so something spiritual must be going on here, right? It's not my place to add anything unnatural. So I walk off, with those screams finally fading out as I get to my block, and I never heard anything about it. So yeah, I haven't done it besides that one time. This piece is called How the Cheetah Got His Spots. We were all here since the beginning. All animals come from the savannah. And though we're different, the Great Mother birthed us as one. And when the cheetah rose from pre-slumber, it used its limbs for the first time. Then its lungs, then its feet. Oh, it loved its feet. After a few days of using its feet, the cheetah grew sleepy. It wanted a nice bed to curl up in, so it feet until it could only lungs looking for somewhere, and eventually it found a group of other animals. But they weren't cheetahs. As he approached the pride, a lion raised his head. "Why do you come here, outsider?" The cheetah answered, "I'm not an outsider, brother. I'm one of you, of the earth. Are you not a cheetah?" The lion laughed. "Foolish. We may exist on the same plane, but we will never be equal." Then the lion roared, scaring Cheetah away. He foot and feet as fast as he could, and soon he found a narrow, secluded riverbank. Cheetah walked alone and thought, "Why am I not one of his kind? He called me an underling, yet are we not cut from the same cloth? In battle, would one not lose their family, their livelihood, their honor?" And Cheetah sat down and began to fume. He angered and angered and angered until he couldn't anger more and burst into tears. He thought again, "I am done with this role. I will cry until these tears burn marks in my face, in my body, in my soul. They will never fade, and my children's children's children will have my scars, so everyone will know. This is not a place for equals. This is not a place for you. This is a place for the lion." This last piece is called Almost Full. The scroll wheel kept sticking. Compared to the rest of the keyboard, the wheel felt grimy, like the way wet cement feels in your hands when they're covered in dry cement. The resinous culprit was most likely CJ, who was probably jacking off again, as if 10 trips to the bathroom a day would be casually dismissed by his coworkers as a urinary tract infection. Disgusting, Ralph thought. He can't even keep himself clean. But Ralph had a fascination with the more grotesque citizens of Poughkeepsie, where hoarding had become a rampant problem. People in this town take, and Ralph was dedicated to taking it back. He again recited the speech he would one day give somewhere to some audience in his head. "You know, sometimes I think to myself, how has this person made it this far in life without dying? How's their incompetence, their paralyzing fear, guilt, anxiety, or pain not killed them off yet? Wasteful." Yeah, Ralph thought, pain should be on the list. People who make themselves feel pain. To Ralph, those were the worst, just like his father. The scroll wheel kept sticking. Ralph looked at the blue, flickering screen and the frame that the wheel had stopped on. Like a ghost in the machine and a patron saint of masturbation had some sort of sick tryst, manifesting in the physical stoppage of that fucking wheel. He looked at the frame on the screen. He looked at the man and wondered if anyone could tell it was real, that he wasn't an actor. I mean, works like this usually rely on shock value. adding buckets of fake blood to make it look real. They count on people looking away so the actor can sneak a breath or blink. But the real thing, the professionals, we try to make it look fake. Changing the dates embedded into a video with those electric numbers almost spelling out your death sentence. The man looked right where the camera was, right into what, to him, was a styrofoam cup sticking out of the recycling bin closest to the double doors of the Y. But he couldn't have known. Ralph jumped as CJ stumbled into the room. CJ burped. He slid into his chair and brought up the Audacity vocal dub. You can't use the real audio, you know? What if there's evidence somewhere in it? Someone yelling a fact, or a name, or some demarcation. And besides, Audacity's free. Ralph didn't know why he liked making these movies. He didn't watch them. And he didn't really believe people watched them for dirty purposes. It's not that simple. To him, it was the appeal of danger that people don't encounter in their normal lives. That feeling of hopelessness, fueled by a lack of confidence, that feeling Ralph wanted to one day give $1 million seminars on defeating, manifests itself into death culture. To Ralph, the men who didn't die naturally from this incurable affliction become obsessed with those less fortunate than themselves, those who did not escape an identical fate. You can feel it in the setup, you know, going from spot to spot, shot to shot, scouting. Ralph starts at the beginning and works his way through the whole set. He climbs up streetlights for the establishing shots. No one else does multi-shot. That's why he's the best. The shot of the corridor, where the man will turn around to check if, was that the sound of a door closing or one opening? The falling shot, the man's last chance. Sometimes they get away. This one won't. Like I'll ever get it edited, that fucking wheel keeps clicking.